Cutters, Degrassi, unpopular opinions. Hey there, ho there. It's Jeff Cutter Diamond welcoming you to a brand new Cutters, Degrassi, unpopular opinions. You thought I was done with this, but nope. I became enamored with this Reddit post that was posted a few days ago. Let's see, about a week and a half ago. This is being taped for prosperity on November 14th, 2020. And Peppa Pig for life. It's a good show. I mean, well, of course, I don't have kids, so Peppa Pig for life posted this. Lesbians of Degrassi. And Peppa said, ever notice how a girl will be assaulted and then date/be attracted to girls? Paige is assaulted, gives up boys, questions her sexuality, and then dates Alex. Fiona is abused by her boyfriend, takes a break from boys, and realizes she's a lesbian. I am watching, Peppa was watching the end of season 14. Sully was assaulted, is in shitty relationships, took a break from boys, and now it could be a Zoe Grace relationship/feelings. Does anyone else notice this, or is it just me? Now, of course, we thought that Zoe and Grace would be a relationship, but Grace is straight and dates Jonah. Zoe goes after Rasha. Rasha in the final season of Next Class. And what Peppa doesn't realize is that Zoe basically pays for her honesty because her mom basically throws her out of the house. Not just because, Zoe being gay is not really in the Catholic religion, but basically because of the fact that Zoe now doesn't get roles based on her coming out of the closet. And basically, people are just narrow-minded. And that Zoe's mom now can't rely on her daughter for money. So she has to either find a job or find a sugar daddy. You can kind of guess where Zoe's mom went with that. So anyway, this is kind of an awkward topic. Now, awkward in the sense that, I admit I had these problems too. Thinking, our girls, that they get sexually assaulted and all that, they basically turn violent and become lesbians and all that. But, I mean, that just doesn't make sense. Now, here's the thing. Before I go through and see what people said about this Reddit post, and that will lead into my unpopular opinion. Well, this opinion is basically that the writers have given us massive confusion about Degrassi lesbians. Not too many lesbians basically come out of the closet without having been abused and all that. Whereas you see Zoe, Fiona, and Paige had that stuff. You would never guess they were gay in the first place. All three of them. Even Fiona, even though that I really didn't watch that era of Degrassi as much as the other two eras. So, what you got here is basically that the writers have just made us confused and all that. Now, that was not supposed to be a pun. I apologize if the irony of this stuff. But, when Paige, came out in season 5, nobody expected it and all that. Now, I admit that I didn't really follow season 5 as much. Well, after all, I didn't follow season 4 as much first run because I was in school and all that. But basically, it's hard to believe. But season 4 of Paige is the first 3 seasons when I followed the show kind of religiously. Sorry to the man upstairs. But anyway, basically, there was no way that Paige could have been gay and all that. Then season 4 comes around when Dean basically, when they said Paige was assaulted and all that, that didn't automatically get her to be gay and all that. She was still with Spinner and all that. And then season 4, when the rape trial with Dean happened, and basically Dean got off scot-free because of lack of evidence. Although, that ticks me off. It's didn't Miss Sauve stuff with Paige actually be admissible in court? And then, of course, Paige gets revenge on Dean by crashing her car into his car. No, sorry, not her car, but Spinner's card in there. Dean's card for revenge. And feels happy about it. That's one part of it. But there's also the problem that she had when Spinner basically was having goo-goo eyes at Manny at a car wash while Paige was working at the movie theater with Alex to pay off Spinner's car. And basically, I was shocked. I don't remember if Paige basically told Spinner that basically, I'm paying for your car and all that. And basically tells Spinner that you don't get any more money because, you know, you're not faithful to me. That might have happened. But anyway, Spinner is with Manny, and of course that breaks up. Now, people say that Spinner and Manny broke up because of Spinner's involvement with the Rick Murray situation, but no. Actually, no. Spinner and Manny broke up at the end of Bark at the Moon when Manny says that, I'm not afraid of you cheating on me. It's me cheating on you. And basically thinks that Spinner is a terrible person. Okay. And then, of course, Paige has to deal with the fact that Rick came back to the school and all that because, Rick got away with it, with hurting Terry, put her in a coma, and Rick had no repercussions and all that. Although that he says he's in counseling and all that, was he really in counseling or was he just playing and all that? Everyone for saps. But I think no one believed him. Now, Rick, in hindsight, should have asked Paige to come to a session with him because maybe then Paige will see that Rick is being honest and truthful. But anyway, I digress. So, of course, they had the Rick situation. And yeah, I think the Rick shooting and the shooting actually did play a part in Paige's nervousness and all that. And then she has a relationship with her yoga teacher, who ends up being a student teacher at Degrassi, Mr. Olander. And it's like, that is kind of creepy. What the fuck, Paige? This isn't like you at all. So, yeah. So, basically, she has a relationship. And she's so committed to the relationship. She's willing to let herself fail or transfer to another school to get out of the problems with her and Olander. But, thankfully, Mr. Olander does the right thing and tells on himself. He gets fired, but Paige actually is happy because she and Olander can date, and they don't have the student-teacher relationship. But unfortunately, Olander goes to the Yukon and basically plants trees, and then thinks that Paige is not good enough for him, so he breaks up with her. And then Paige goes to Alex, and it's like, to me, that's the shocking thing is that Paige basically. Like, there were no hints that Paige actually was attracted to other girls at all, unless I missed something. But I'm like, how the heck did they play that through? So basically, it was just weird. I feel like Alex and Paige would have been perfect for each other, but basically Alex didn't. I thought Alex had motivation, but then she lost her motivation. That just pisses me off. Like, I mean, yeah, Fiona, well, it's understandable. I mean, she doesn't trust boys after the fact that Bobby abused her. But Fiona ruined herself at the trial by basically being drunk and all that. I know she was trying to calm herself down, but she screwed up. And that's why Bobby, I think, got away with more than he should have. So, yeah, good old mountain top on that one. And, of course, with Zoe, it's like, well, yeah, Zoe was interested in Miles. Basically, Zoe was trying to throw Miles in Maya's face because, Maya wanted to have a relationship with Miles. This was season 13 when it wasn't as prominent as the fact that Maya was protecting Miles from himself and hopefully trying not to have Miles kill himself. That was season 14. Season 13 was different. And then Maya and Zoe basically had a back and forth and anger towards each other. And then they finally make up at the season finale. Like, it's just hard to believe. But yeah, and then Zoe basically gets assaulted by Drew. Drew had a girlfriend, and Zoe was trying to basically bribe Drew with drugs and all that. And basically, when Drew assaults her, Well, I mean, I know Zoe turned the tables on Drew, but that was on purpose. And then Zoe said the line that my mother taught me not to trust any boys, and now that's true. I think that foreshadowed the fact that Zoe couldn't trust any guys, so thus she's going to turn gay. And what she did with Rasha, and maybe an attraction to Grace, but Grace was straight, like I said. So it's kind of weird how they turn girls gay because of how they get assaulted and all that. Now, this isn't about the characters. This is just basically the writer's fault, more so than anything else. I mean, a lot of us do mishandle the situation. But anyway, I'm gonna actually. Well, a lot of people were commenting on the Lesbians of Degrassi thing. People say it was suspicious. Somebody said, "What about Alex? The most she gets is a shitty boyfriend in Jake. You could count the abusive relationship that her mother is in, which has resulted in Alex getting hurt physically. So maybe that could have turned her off from men." Well, the abusive relationship. I gotta intervene on that because Alex actually has been victimized by her mother's abusive relationships, the plural. Basically, Alex has had to deal with her mother's abusive relationships herself, and basically that's why she couldn't really trust guys. So anyway, yeah. Someone said there was a pattern, but on the other hand, lots of Degrassi characters who got abused and assaulted did not turn gay. Craig, Darcy, Terry, Allie, even Claire. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. Somebody said that they thought that Fiona's sexuality was foreshadowed ever since she was dating Riley. She told him she didn't want physical stuff with him. And didn't Declan make fun of her for having a boy toy to flaunt around, but she never liked him? But of course, that was because Riley was dating Fiona to get his family off the scent of him being gay and all that. All that. Somebody said it's just the writers not knowing how to portray lesbians. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I know. Everyone says that the writers just couldn't agree on how to portray lesbians. And that's a tough call in anyone's eyes. So logically, things like that and all that. So yeah, it's the writer's fault, like for making us think negatively about lesbians and how the fact and Degrassi and basically how they're abused and all that, and then they just easily turn the other way and all that. But I don't think so. That's kind of nearsightedness, and basically a stereotype and all that. And yes, I did have that feeling about, oh, Paige only went to girls because she couldn't trust guys. But, she dated Griffin in college, who was a guy, so basically she was bisexual. Like, Zoe really wasn't portrayed as being bisexual. Zoe could be bisexual, Fiona could be bisexual, who knows? Like, basically, actually, being bisexual and being a lesbian is two different things, because bisexual, you like both genders, male and female, and lesbian or / gay, you just like your gender. And then, of course, there's issues with like transgender and all that I'm not going to get into because, it would take too long to understand. And, sometimes I just don't understand things. So anyway, thanks for watching this video and have yourself a good day.